This is Rogers TV.
Welcome to Daytime Ottawa here on Rogers TV. Oh my goodness, we have a great lineup for you. We're talking a little theatre on the show today with Ottawa Little Theatre. TEDx Canada on the show. Car Evans is back, host of Fitness Faction, which you can watch right here on Rogers TV. 8 o'clock each and every morning. All that and more coming up. But we start in the kitchen area. Not to cook with my next guest, which you would normally see her do. Julie Finley, Mom in the Know, is back with Flowers by Maggie.
I know.
Where's Maggie?
Maggie is not here, but
what
she is.
What happened to Maggie? She's probably pretty busy.
She is pretty busy.
Yeah.
But she really is the expert. So you're right. I'm always here in the kitchen. I love food. I love sharing that, but I love sharing everything else. And this is not my expertise. So you can even ask my neighbor. She's even come to me with one branch that's coming out this way, and she's like, "I was wondering when you're going to take that down." And I'm like, okay. So
well, just be neighborly and ask.
I asked for a list. So
Did
maybe
you
I'll
really?
get that on Mother's Day. Yeah, a couple of things.
Okay.
Okay, so Mother's Day is right around the corner.
Yes.
Mother's Day should really be every day, but the idea of what's so fun about Mother's Day is it's spring, it's blooms, it's new growth, it's all of those things. So it actually is when I embrace my garden, because I do love it, and there's lots to do there. But
well, how about Saturday weekend weather?
Oh, I
mean,
know.
I'm sure people were out in their gardens getting things prepared, right?
Absolutely.
You weren't. You were at sporting events all weekend.
Yes,
right?
I was cheering right on the sideline.
Nice, nice.
Getting pretty excited.
Excellent.
But congratulations to Nepean High School,
Yeah.
4th in Canada for
Amazing.
High School Nationals.
Just up the street here, by the way.
Just up the street.
Did you go to Nepean?
No, I didn't.
Oh, I
but
went
you
to
went with
Nepean.
all of my friends.
Yes, that's true.
I was just.
What happened to you?
Yeah, I just went to private school.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
never
Gotcha.
finishing school. Maybe I never finished it. I don't know. Okay.
You and me both.
Okay, so flowers.
Yes.
When you're giving flowers to your mom or your grandmother or the person that you love, don't just give them in the package. I think that is the tip that I've really embraced from Maggie.
Because it shows that you've done something, right?
Absolutely.
Obviously many of these, of course, are already, readily available in a vase, right?
Look at this. Lovely
I know,
vase.
this is gorgeous.
So the idea is you're going to go to Flowers by Maggie. She's right down the road from you on Richmond Road, and she has all of these flowers. They're all local. They're all beautiful. They've got every color. She will tell you exactly what it is. But when I walked in there, I was just amazed at how much she had that you could use to give your flowers. So when you're giving your flowers to mom, it's something like this, and it's something that could be reused. So if you actually have flowers already in your garden, later on, you could be adding your flowers to this nice vase.
That's a great point.
Another fun thing is, tulips. So get those out because Tulip Festival starts this weekend as well.
That's right. I'm looking forward to it.
I know, super fun. And then there's all those things from the kids. So right away, I love this idea of the terrarium because it is something that if you're not a plant carer for her, is that what we call it?
Sure, we can go with that.
Yes, so it's easy to take care of. In fact, you want to just make sure you moisten the soil before you put together your terrarium, and then you've got your we'll just take this off. You've got your rocks in there.
Yeah.
So easy, go on a walk, collect your rocks, and then you have your succulent. And again, Flowers by Maggie has so many succulents to choose from. And then it's an easy to care for.
I was just going to say it's not a ton of care because when you put in that water, the humidity will stay in there, right, for quite some time. It's not one of those things that you never have to water.
Exactly.
You certainly have to, but you don't have to water
Very
it as
rarely,
often.
because
right?
how these work is if you're putting it in the sunlight comes, it heats it up, and then it grabs moisture, and then it actually waters it. So I'm going to put this in here.
Okay.
You're going to get your rocks. This is another fun thing you could do is you could put little hearts or decorate your rocks.
Yeah, that's
and
a great
then it's
idea.
something that you can give to mom for Mother's Day. So I am going to make sure I take out my little succulent.
Little golden heart on mine here.
Yes.
If I can manage it.
And you can find bigger rocks, but obviously not for your terrarium. But I brought one here so you could put it in your garden.
Where did you get that one there?
Might have got it right outside at Rogers. Rogers Television, very nice rocks.
Here, I'm gonna put it where.
Yes.
Just was out of camera's reach. I'm
there
gonna
we
put it
go.
right there. Yeah.
And there you've got your terrarium, super easy. Or if you're at home, you can get a little plant and then use your teacups.
That is really
use
smart.
things that are always around the house.
Not only that, let's say you don't have them, right? Maybe you don't have the fancy teacup. Go to a thrift store.
Oh, I know.
Right? They have like like hundreds of them at thrift stores all the time.
Or if you find a really neat vase like this is a really nice stoneware.
That is cool.
Again, from Flowers by Maggie. You could just fill that, and again with your succulents, or you could put other plants in it. Succulents are easy because, again, easy to take care of, and they don't need much depth.
Well, yeah, and you don't want mom, you're going to get something for mom. You don't want her to have to do a ton of care either, right?
No,
Make it easy on mom.
I found what I did love about Mother's Day is spending that time in the garden, so you want to keep your kids busy in the garden. So all of your viewers at home, there's some neat ways to do that.
Okay.
I picked up this little birdhouse for Maggie, and inside,
adorable.
I know, I put a rose bush, so together you can plant the rose bush, and then you can create an environment for your birds to come to.
That's a great
so
idea.
you can start doing little bird feeders that you can hang from it or put inside. You could also put a little bowl in there, hoist it a little bit so a bird can land right here and drink water.
Nice. Great
super
idea.
fun things.
Did you make these yourselves, these little bird feeders?
I did. You know what? It's super
great.
easy on mumandtheknow.ca.
Okay.
It's a pack of, you can go to Bulk Barn and get a ton of seed, whatever seeds are available or feed the birds in your neighborhood, which is also another learning experience. So again, keeping the kids busy. And then I actually did put a little...
Is it like bacon fat you used or something?
You know, you could use that as well, or you could use suet, or you can whatever clump it together. I think I use Knox gelatin from time to time, but you want to make sure it's okay for your birds. Again, something you can give to your parents is something dry, but then keep busy in the garden. So this, once you're given the present, you're going to help water the plants. So all those types of things.
That already.
I know.
Lavender.
Lavender. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Dry
we
lavender.
just got some actually. Just last week. We
did you?
Dried lavender.
Well, and again,
because that smell.
The local shops are filled. So of course, Flowers by Maggie. Maggie is her name, so you can just walk in and say, I'm looking for Maggie. She'll set you up. You'll also probably meet her her lovely little cat in there, too. This is another one I love. Just
this
hanging.
has made a comeback.
Yes.
Right? You're a 70s kid. I'm a 70s kid. Everybody had one of these, right?
And it's great for ivy because it is one of those things that dangle down. So this, again, is available at Flowers by Maggie, or you can go, I haven't put one that I like. I haven't found the video that works, but there's so many videos. You're just getting twine from your thrift store, from your craft store, and you're literally how long you want it to do. Also, you're going to get little hoops because that's what hangs on. These are old bangles that I'm clearly not wearing anymore. Not sure why I have them. But the idea is you're going to start doing like this.
You probably keep everything.
I might.
Right?
I find there's always a use for it. Exactly. And you're going to do it 10 ways. I know we don't have enough time to do it, but again, there's like 7-minute video, DIYs, macrame for kids. You can keep the kids busy that way, and then you're going to end up putting it through here, and that's hanging down, and then you do the knot. So it's actually pretty easy to do. Again, if you're not doing any of that and you want to keep your mom busy looking for flowers or let her work in her own garden, give your kids, dads, give your kids a scavenger hunt. So you can be outside and they can check for things. In fact, I found this one that's looking for rain boots and umbrellas. So you know what? They can be looking for the things that are in the house and being able to do it.
Flowers by Maggie, you can visit her website as well. You can order online, really simple to do, or just visit her and ask for Maggie. We'll be back with more right after this.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Join us for season 4 of Simply Cooking by Chef, Sunday nights at 8 o'clock, right here on Rogers TV.
Everybody knows not to drink and drive, but some people still think it's okay to take drugs and drive. Police have the authority, the ability, and the tools to determine if drivers are impaired by legal or illegal drugs. And because drug-impaired drivers can pose just as great a risk as drunk drivers, they face the same penalties, like the loss of their driver's license, a criminal record, fines, and more. A message from the RCMP, the Canadian Association of Chiefs of Police, and Arrive Alive, Drive Sober.
Welcome to Secondary Dwelling from Hell. I am really excited today because we have Jason from RB Mechanical who's going to take us through the fire stop in the ductwork, something that was missed by the other contractor and never should have been left the way it was. All of this needs to come down, but this is very expensive. We're going to prep to drywall the ceiling. We have Sonopan here, which is a soundproofing product. I promise you're going to learn something. This is going to be fun.
Learn all about the creation of the National Capital Region on The History of Ottawa, according to Phil Jenkins, on Rogers TV.
You're watching an interesting local show on Rogers TV and you want to know more. That's when you head to rogerstv.com. Our website provides more information about our programs, our hosts, our schedule, and about how you too can get involved with Rogers TV. Visit us online at rogerstv.com.
Gotta limber up here. Gotta warm up because the pro's here. I don't want to embarrass myself. Hey, you can tune in each and every weekday at 8 a.m. to see Fitness Faction, of course, starring host Car Evans. She joins me here on the show each and every month. How are you, Car?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm trying to warm up because this is one of the things you always talk about with me and all of the viewers, and that is warming up and recovery.
Yes.
And many of us just dive into doing exercise. Why? So warming up, I know it sounds obvious to everybody at home, but why is it so important, Car?
Well, it is very important to get your muscles ready for functional movement, for functional injury-free movement.
Right.
So a good warm-up would be a lighter version of the exercises that you're about to do.
Okay.
So if you're going to go hard with squats and lunges, then you're going to want to do those at a lower intensity. And the best warm-up is squats, in my opinion.
Is it really?
Yes.
Okay.
It just heats you up immediately. It warms up your body. It focuses on the big muscles, which is very important. And recovery, equally as important because you've put your body through this stress. So we all love it when we get that cortisol hit because it makes us happy and, it's like, woo, that workout rush. But then you have to give your body the time to get back what you just took from it.
Right. I mean, so you probably see it yourself. These people that go to the gym 7 days a week, probably not the best idea, right? I guess depending on what they're doing.
I mean, exactly. It depends on what you're doing. You're going to want to go hard 2 to 3 times a week if you're going for results. And of course, it's also, why are you there? What is your goal?
Right.
Like, if you're there because you want to make gains and put on weight and big muscles, then you're going to go harder than the average Joe like you or I who just wants to stay fit and be able to.
I just want to stay sculpted.
I mean.
Car. Okay, maybe not that much. Okay, still working on the.
You look good.
Thank you. I still have work to do. But at least I recognize that. You're going to walk. Actually, before we get to the exercises, you mentioned the leg work. I always find, and is there any truth to that? When you do the leg work first, it kind of helps the rest of the body because you're working those bigger muscles.
Absolutely, you're increasing the blood flow, and that is also helpful for movement. But also when you feed your big muscles, those are the big muscles that eat the fat and keep the body going.
Okay.
So
let's do some exercise.
Try something?
What do you got for me?
So first, I'm going to teach you 3 exercises that you can do at home. So if you do these 2 to 3 times a week, you're going to start feeling stronger, and you're going to want to keep going when you see the results. So if you start by feet a little bit further than hip width apart, and then go down, touch your toes, hinge at the hip, touch your toes. Then you're going to want to lower your tailbone and lift your chest. So you're going right into like a squat position. Yeah, exactly like that. And then you're going to bring your hands up. No, but stay down.
Oh!
Just your hands up.
Gotcha.
Bring your hands up, and then touch your toes again, and then lift your tailbone. That is 1 rep. Did that make sense to you?
It does, it does.
So up,
I'm just
down,
embarrassed of the fact
down,
I can't
down.
touch my toes fully stretched, that's all.
That's okay.
I gotta
You don't
start
have
doing
to
yoga,
touch your toes.
Oh, you don't have to? Okay,
No,
I see.
But that's the goal, is to touch your toes. So
what are we working there? Like I can feel the back, I can feel the glutes.
That is a full body workout.
Okay.
That was your full body workout, which is why you put your hands up at the end.
Gotcha.
Now, if you wanted to do that with a ball, you're going to turn it up because this ball is 12 pounds.
Right.
I'm not going to make you do that today in
Oh, thank
jeans.
goodness. That could have been embarrassing. Well, I wore the stretchy jeans. I'm not too bad.
You want to try it?
Yeah, let's give it a try.
Okay.
Let's give it a try.
Okay, so at the end,
I'm going to pick it up.
I'm going to walk you through it again exactly.
Okay.
So you're going to touch your toes,
Yeah. Oh,
tailbone
do that
down,
first.
chest up, grab the ball, raise it over your head, put the ball back down. Excellent. Put your,
Woo!
right?
Yeah.
Where did you feel that?
Got a little core action going there. A little bit of core. And you feel it in the arms, obviously, right? Bringing it up over your head. Yeah.
So a full body workout incorporates your upper body, your lower body, and your core.
Right.
And we all know that the core muscles are everything from here to here. Right?
Yeah.
So
I don't think everybody knows that.
Oh.
I think most people just think it's here, right? But
That's
you're
true.
right. Right? You're sort of here to here.
Yeah, it
right?
is from your knees to your chest. That
Okay,
is your
okay.
core. So it's important to work all of those muscles.
All right, what else have you got?
I've got lie down on the ground.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a
Stomach
quick rest
or
here.
back?
On your back. Lie down on your back.
All right.
So the goal here is to have your whole back touching the ground. So you're going to squeeze your middle, come down a little bit to make sure your head's not on the ground there. You're going to squeeze your middle and push your back to the ground.
Okay.
Extend your arms overhead, extend your legs out.
Okay.
And that, you see how when you extended your legs out, they went up a bit, right? So lift them a little bit, and then try to lift your shoulder blades off the ground a little bit.
Baby.
Yeah. So if you could hold that for 15 to 30 seconds, that's 1 rep.
Oh, how many reps do I have to do?
I mean, with an exercise like this, you only need to do 3 to 5.
Wow.
And that is full body.
That
you felt
is
that
a core
everywhere.
workout.
Yeah, that's an everything workout.
I
Your
know, it
arms
looks
are
so
heavy.
simple though, right?
Yeah.
Like,
It
try
seems
that at
simple.
home if you can. Like,
Try
be
it.
careful, everybody.
Everybody get down on the ground right now.
And give it a
this
try.
You'll see.
Woo.
Yeah, full
Okay.
body workout.
I'm going to add that. I'm adding that to the workout.
Okay, last one.
Yeah.
Stay down.
Okay.
Hands and knees
Okay.
in a table-type position.
All right.
And then you're going to anchor your toes and raise your knees about, turn your toes under.
Okay.
Raise your knees an inch off the ground. So, yeah. And then you're going to go forward, opposite hand, opposite foot. You're going to crawl. Crawl like a baby. Yeah, opposite hand, opposite foot. Yeah,
Okay.
Try again. Another one. And go back. Excellent. Full body workout.
Wow.
Yeah. Is that
Yeah,
difficult?
because that's the complaint some people have, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to do a full body workout because I don't have equipment.
Yeah.
Right?
It's so easy to work out without equipment. You don't need a gym. Obviously, it's great to go to a gym. They
For
have
sure.
a schedule. You want to go because you're paying to go there. So if you
Right.
can stay motivated at home and you have a plan, so I've just showed you 3 exercises you can do at home, commit to doing them 2 to 3 times a week, and you will see results.
And ignore the scale.
Exactly.
It's not all about weight.
Don't look at the scale.
How do you feel?
Exactly.
Right?
How do your clothes
You
feel?
always say that to me, and,
Yes.
I think that's so important because body image to a lot of people, to all of us, right? Incredibly important how we feel about ourselves.
Yeah.
But make sure you feel it inside.
Yes.
Right? Most
Exactly.
important thing. Hey, Car Evans, everybody. Fitness Faction weekdays at 8 a.m. She'll walk you through some great exercise. Get the blood flowing early in the morning so you're ready to go for the rest of the day. We'll be back right after this. We got lots more coming up here on Daytime. Don't go anywhere.
We invite you to play What's My Line?
Welcome, Mrs. Baker. Those folks over there need to guess your extraordinary occupation.
Are you an entertainer, Mrs. Baker?
Yes.
Do people come to watch you perform?
Yes. Do you travel for work? Yes, I do.
Do you ever wear a special type of costume?
Yes.
Is your job physical?
Yes, indeed.
Are you a member of a team?
Yes.
Are you
a professional baseball player?
Yes, I am.
Created during the Second World War, the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League included 68 Canadians. One of its brightest stars was my mother, Saskatchewan's Mary Bonnie Baker, a pioneer for women in sports.
I'm Sam LaPrade. I hope you join us for an hour to learn about the Distress Center of Ottawa and region. They take over 55,000 calls a year, and they're waiting to hear from you.
Welcome back to the show. I'm just telling my next guest how much I miss doing theater. As soon as I got into television, just didn't have time to do it. You know, the good part, though, is we have so many opportunities here in Ottawa to see fantastic theater, including amazing community theater. Ottawa Little Theater celebrating their 111th anniversary. Here to tell us about their latest production, a little bit, of course, about Ottawa Little Theater. I'm joined by Ian Gillies and Sarah McKay. Welcome to you both. Great to have you here.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
Well, Ian, let's first of all talk about how you got into theater. What was your inspiration? When did you start?
Oh gosh, I mean, I've been very fortunate. I've done a number of shows at the OLT, the Ottawa Little Theater, over the last couple of years, but I really started to dive into it in university with like Shakespeare productions and everything like that. So that was...
You were a serious thespian then.
Serious thespian, yeah.
Wonderful,
that's not at all correct, but it was a lot of fun. It was a ton of fun.
How about yourself, Sarah?
Oh gosh, honestly, I can't remember when I didn't want to do theater.
Yeah.
It's just for the longest time. I studied at Canterbury here in Ottawa,
nice. Okay.
doing dramatic arts years ago, and then honestly, I'm really just getting back into it after a period of absence.
I know that feeling. Yeah,
right?
I was telling you I did murder mystery dinner theater, but before I, from high school to finally getting to that, I think it was like a decade before I got back into it. Let's talk about this latest production, Stag and Doe. How would you describe this storyline?
Yeah, so Stag and Doe by Mark Crawford is a Canadian show set in a small town community hall where Sarah and I are the Stag and Doe.
Okay.
Which, if you don't know, is like a fundraiser for your wedding, right? So you get all your buddies together, they give you money, you have a lot of fun.
Throw 'em a party.
Yeah, something we should just do anyway.
Right?
So during this production, we have, the storyline is that the two of us are getting ready for our Stag and Doe, but then this other couple that we may or may not have history with shows up and they need to use the space for their wedding, which is happening at the exact same time. So hilarity ensues.
Oh, I love it. So, Sarah, tell me about your particular role. How would you describe your character?
Well, Bonnie is an interesting character. She's very pragmatic and down to earth normally. Under the
I love how you added normally. Yeah.
Well, I think in the situation of hosting a Stag and Doe, having a pending wedding, paying for everything, it's a major milestone that everyone sort of looks forward to. Bonnie has put a lot of time and effort and dreams into this wedding of hers, so the pressure is definitely meeting her when we come to meet Bonnie at the play. She's a little eccentric. She's a lot of fun.
Nice. Ian, how would you describe your character?
Yeah, so Brad is kind of down to earth. He was, in a way, he's a man of few words until he starts talking. Right, until he starts really diving into things. So he has a lot of big feelings that come out over the show, especially as revelations about what Sarah's been up to as Bonnie come to light.
Sarah, what have you been up to?
You know what?
We don't want to give away that, I'm sure.
The same thing here.
Sure. So I imagine then sort of chaos ensues. Is that fair to say, Sarah?
I think chaos ensues is the right word. A lot of things come together. A lot of things come together and fall apart and come back together again. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a comedy. There's lots of laughs, lots of heart. a story about friendship and loyalty and love and weddings, which is timely going into the
actually, you're right.
The summer wedding season.
Absolutely. Ian, for those that aren't involved in community theater, just describe it for us. We want to sort of encourage people. You know what? If you've never acted before and you're interested, I mean, everybody's fantastic within that community.
Well,
right?
that's it exactly, right? Like again, I've been very fortunate. I know Sarah can say the same, where it's OLT and community theater in general is like a second home for a lot of us.
Yeah.
And it's just unbelievable the people that you meet who are from all walks of life, because it's exactly that. Some people have been acting for as long as they can remember. Other people have never been on stage before. And then even backstage, it's the same thing. So Ottawa Little Theater volunteer run from props, costumes, everything, which is just phenomenal. So you have people who are there who really want to be a part of something, and it comes together into something fantastic.
Sarah, take me back to the audition process. What was that experience like for you?
Well, the auditions at OLT are very accessible. They happen on a Saturday afternoon. Show up, fill out a little card. What are you auditioning for? What are you interested to read for? And you just get up on stage and read. They have sections from the play available, and you just sort of workshop. You play around and have fun with a character, and I mean, it's an experience in and of itself. But I would say anyone who's interested in getting involved in theater in the community should come out. We've still got a lot of shows this season that are looking for cast and crew.
Excellent.
And I think our next auditions are in just a couple weeks. So if people are interested, they should definitely come out. It's such a great community to be a part of.
Ian, do you know what the next production is?
The one that's coming up in June is already casted. So the way it works, right, that we've been rehearsing for a couple of months, and then it's every month essentially there's another show.
So you're rehearsing already for the next production? The next two,
yeah.
Wow.
And then we'll do auditions for the one that goes up in August.
The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime.
That's right.
Yeah.
In just a couple of weeks.
Title is
I know. It's a very interesting season.
Spark interest in people. Advice, Ian, that you would give to people, because I've auditioned. It can be a nerve-wracking experience, and I know it's a lot different with community theater because it's so welcoming. But what kind of advice would you give to people?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I think it's just that you come as yourself. You come looking to have fun and just being open to the experience, and that really speaks volumes, and it does wonders. And it's one of those things that if maybe you audition and you don't get into a show, no worries, you come back for another one, or you volunteer backstage, or you do something,
you
right?
Can still be part of the production,
there's always
regardless.
something to do,
right?
Yeah, exactly.
Sarah, the run of this particular production, when do you kick off, and how long does it go?
Well, we've just had our first preview performance this past weekend. It was well received, so we're looking forward to opening night. It's opening this week on Wednesday the 8th. We run until the 25th. So we got 3 weeks for people to come out and see it and be a part of it.
A lot of opportunity for people to come and see it. Well, enjoy the experience. I can already tell you've been enjoying, all of your experience at Ottawa Little Theater. But thanks so much for being here. Really appreciate it.
Thank you
so much for having us.
It's a pleasure. Hey, OttawaLittleTheater.com is the place to go. You can find, of course, you can call the box office as well if you don't have access to the internet. We'll be back with more right after this. Don't go anywhere.
I'm Wendell Clark with a word about winning. We all know it takes a team effort in any sport and with any challenge. You can be a part of the winning team that shuts out impaired driving. Whether you're out on the town or just hanging out with friends, drink responsibly. Always have a plan for a safe ride home for yourself, your family, and your friends. You'll be helping to shut out impaired driving.
Visit ArriveAlive.org to find out more. Arrive Alive. Drive sober.
Every year, dozens of Canadians are killed or seriously injured because they take risks around railway tracks. Talk to your loved ones about rail safety. Visit StopTrackTragedies.ca.
Join us for the new season of Ottawa Storytellers, right here on Rogers TV.
Watch Podium exclusively on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to the show. The unfortunate part of this next discussion is that they are sold out. The fortunate part is they're sold out. If you've never experienced a TEDx talk before, it's one of the most incredible experiences. As somebody that's attended them and has been a speaker, I can tell you it can be life-changing for the audience and for the speaker. Here to tell us more about TEDx in general and TEDx Canada, I'm joined by Dr. Paul Newton. He is the speaker coach. Welcome. Great to have you here.
It's great to be here.
And Veronica Farmer, the TEDx Canada co-chair. Welcome, Veronica. Great to have you here as well. For people that aren't familiar, Veronica, of what a TEDx is exactly, maybe that's a good starting point for us.
Absolutely. So TEDx is the independent part of TED. And so it's an organized community event that we hold. And in fact, ours is in its 8th year.
Yeah, and wasn't it was Jenna Suds that had started that?
Minister Suds, yes, she absolutely started it 8 years ago, when she was leading the Canada North Business Association, who's the holder of the license.
How did you get involved? Why did you want to get involved?
I had been part of the Canada North Business Association, been part of the sort of TED event, and then stepped into the co-chair probably about 4 years ago.
Dr. Newton, how about yourself? How did you get involved in it, and why?
Well, I always wanted to be involved in a TED Talk or do one or help somebody with one, and I was actually sitting next to one of the speakers' bosses at a lunch, and they were like, we're really struggling with this TED Talk, and I was like, I want to work on one. And that kind of connected me to TEDx Canada, because we helped this girl Delphi talk about neuroscience in a general term so that the audience would relate to it.
So tell me a little bit about your role as coach. What has your role been like exactly?
It's taking the language that people speak and making it really relatable, turning really complex stuff into stories that people go, oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Right.
And so you're dealing with really smart people, and they have their own jargon, and it's not always something people want to hear.
Veronica, what's the process of becoming a speaker at a TEDx?
In our case, it's about a 6-month-long process from application, which then goes through a lot of coaching. So we provide that journey for the speaker the whole way through till they're ready to step on the red dot. So in our case, it went from November until May.
What do you have to be in communication then with TED this whole time? Like, did they give you a lot of the tools that you need to pull something like this off?
They give us a lot of independence, but there's a fair amount of governance that follows. It's a strong brand, so we have to ensure that we follow a lot of that. But no, it's pretty much how we derive the experience. We have great coaches, amazing speakers, and we just ensure that journey for the speaker is a good one.
Dr. Newton, there's a theme for each TEDx talk. What is the theme for the TEDx Canada talk?
This year it's Emerge.
Okay.
And that came from, we were talking about having disrupt, but we also wanted it to be positive. And I was like, well, disruption's a little, there's just happening so much. And so we thought, what's on the other side? What comes out of things getting disrupted? And it's something new emerges.
So all of these speakers take that theme, but they're all different topics, right? So I guess that's part of the coaching experience for you as well. Here's your topic, and how are we going to fit this theme within it? What are some of the topics that are going to be discussed?
Well, we have 3 brothers, and that's kind of our heart-wrenching story, where 2 of them are engineers and one has cerebral palsy. And then they trained AI to understand their brother, and we could see his personality emerge once he could speak.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Any other topics, Veronica?
Another one that's a lot of fun is about our relationship with waste, in particular food waste, and how we emerge through looking at different food waste production processes and how we might manage that differently.
This is your first in-person, is that right, since the pandemic?
Correct, that's right.
So how did ticket sales go? Because I mean, you guys sold out rather quickly. How do you go about selling tickets?
They're available. In this case, we really had it sell out very quickly, and I think it was because our last one was done 2 years ago virtually. So people really want to be in that room and and enjoy that experience live.
Dr. Newton, when somebody sort of gets nominated and they they're going to become the speaker, what piece of advice do you give someone to even get to that point?
Well, the first thing is, even if you can speak, it's not like anything that you've done in the past. Like, it's rehearsed, and you have a script, and you're doing a performance of a lifetime. So they really have to know that. Listen, understand what you're committing to, because if you are going to show up on your terms, it's not going to work.
Right, right. So it is like a memorized, scripted talk, and there's a time component to it as well, right?
It started out at 18 minutes, but like as our attention spans are shrinking,
what do you
we're
mean?
at 10.
Squirrel?
Yeah,
What are you talking about? Yeah, no, I can understand that. And Veronica, sort of moving forward, how far in advance do you start thinking about the next TEDx?
So it's an annual event. Now we'll keep going in terms of in-person. So we would begin to start thinking about that in the fall. So what do we think about the theme? What's going on in the world? What ideas could come to light, and we'll start it then and look for auditions at that time.
And once this TEDx talk is done, what live, what happens after that?
Magic happens. What happens is that it goes up onto the TED platform and is available probably a couple of weeks after, so people could look maybe perhaps the beginning of June, middle of June, for those 6 speakers from Canada North to be.
So, but you do have to send it to TED, and they have to sort of they have to approve of it.
That's right.
So, is that that being said, Dr. New, even for someone like yourself and the speakers, does that add extra pressure then on everybody involved?
Oh, there's real guidelines around what you can and can't say and topics that they'll approve. I mean, they don't want any pseudoscience. You can't make claims that aren't backed up by research, and so we ran into that problem with a scientist, because the things she's saying, we had to dig and dig and dig, and it took about 6 months to get her video up, because until she proved everything that was in the video, they weren't going to release it.
Yeah, that never even dawned on me. Well, when would nominations begin for the next TEDx talk if somebody's interested, Veronica?
I would say we'd probably be in that position in the fall.
In the fall.
So we'll start again. I think November seemed to work well, so
excellent.
I think we'll be looking at
congratulations, all the work that the two of you have done, and of course all the speakers as well. I know how much time and effort goes into that. Thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. You can find out more TEDx Canada by visiting their website. You can find them on social media as well. We'll be back with more right after this.
This is a brain in urgent need of mental health care. But because 3 out of every 4 Indigenous people experience racism in healthcare, she may not get the help she needs. Become an ally. Rise above racism in healthcare.
Sports is life. It's clear cut. Everything's out in the open. There's nowhere to hide. I had to prove myself more than anyone else.
You must be so proud of your son. He's gonna go pro. The sky's the limit.
There's always a winner and a loser.
You cannot reach the sky in broken cleats.
Of course, I always want to be the winner. And I did reach the sky.
Norman Kwong, the first Chinese-Canadian professional football player, still holds records to this day. He retired from the sport in 1960 and later became Lieutenant Governor of Alberta.
Hi, I'm Sam LaPrade, host of Ottawa Business Matters. We're going to gather here every single week and speak about business here in the capital. We're going to inspire, influence, and inform.
Join us for season 4 of Simply Cooking by Chef, Sunday nights at 8 o'clock, right here on Rogers TV.
Lots to do, of course, in Ottawa year-round, but when spring and summer hits, oh boy, people start getting excited, and that's really the height of tourism here in Ottawa. And you know what I always encourage as a resident of the city, become a tourist in your own city. There's so many fantastic events going on. Here to tell us what's coming up in the month of May, Vladimir Jean-Gilles. He is the Manager of Travel and Media Relations at Ottawa Tourism. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
You were saying, boy, oh boy, busy time. Is this your busiest time of year, would you say, or does that change at all?
It changed. I mean, as the city keeps changing, evolving, and into so many different ways, the answer to that question changes all the time. I mean, I think summer and winter are definitely the two highlights of our season. Yeah, definitely a lot of things going on, a lot of things happening, and I'm excited for all of it.
Yeah, and I imagine probably encouraged that most likely, you know, after the pandemic and what everything's gone through, those numbers, we're going to see them continuing to get bigger and bigger.
Absolutely,
right?
And we're very excited about that. We're very happy about the work that all our partners, all the people involved in the tourism industry, in the service industry, we're happy with the work that they're all doing into making that happen. So nice. It's a collective effort that you're seeing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly, for sure. Let's talk about some of the things that are coming up.
Yes.
York Street Market. This is something I absolutely love, and it sort of reminds you of some of those other cities that have those, you know, real pedestrian areas, right, where you can walk around, and York Street's one of those.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've been before?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah. York Street Market, so happening in a byward market, so you'll have the opportunity to meet about 30 different types of vendors and shop for a lot of different sort of items. It's a cool, I find that these types of markets are, especially, they're a cool way for people in the community to get to know each other as well. Yeah. You'll be surprised at what kind of some of the local celebrities will make their ways as well. I've met a few sometimes.
Nice.
And it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool way to discover people and to meet people, but also to discover a lot of the different items and a lot of the different vendors that are available in your city and that you can get to know as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's May 12th and May 26th, by the way, for those particular markets. And will are they going to continue that
They're going to continue. So this month, it's happening on May 12th and 26th. Okay. And it will also happen in June and I believe in July as well. We'll keep you up to date for sure about that.
You know, I just wanted to mention before I go to the next one, I was out of town over the weekend, but on Saturday, with that beautiful weather that we had, you know, and all the talk with the byward market that's been happening and the negative things that have been said about the place was packed.
Yes, it was.
I saw video and photos, and it was like shoulder to shoulder. Yeah. So nice to see,
It was beautiful. Yeah, I love seeing that. I love seeing that.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Let's talk Mother's Day brunch. There's lots of them around town, but you've got one in particular you wanted to mention.
Yeah, the Mother's Day's brunch. So for the people who need the reminder, Mother's Day is on May 12th. So if you didn't know, now I'm reminding you. Happening at the Infinity Convention Center. So it's going to be an opportunity for people to have brunch with a lot of activities that, you know, families and kids can sort of like enjoy to celebrate their mothers. There's going to be flower shops available and all that kind of stuff. Nice. And different sort of opportunities for people to celebrate their mothers as well, and to celebrate with all the mothers too. You know what I mean?
It's really special, to go to one of those brunches and just see all the activity around moms and grandmothers.
And sharing that love shared among so many different people too. It's just good energy to be a part of. You know what I mean? I just love being amongst that. So
we had the general manager and the executive chef on the show a couple of weeks ago, and let me tell you, the menu, by the way, is spectacular. I'm not going to go over all the items, but it is a huge brunch menu available. Ottawa Children's Festival coming up too, right? May 10th, this Friday.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's exciting because I just love seeing kids being happy. Yeah. You know what I mean? And especially coming off, like you said, the pandemic and all that kind of stuff. It's exciting to see these sort of events where families can come and enjoy and create these memories with children. So there's going to be the Ottawa Children's Festival, an amazing opportunity again for children to express themselves through different mediums with different sort of activities and art sort of like showcases that will be made available for them to discover and to have fun. And it's just a beautiful ambiance for the whole family.
I love your enthusiasm about this, because you were saying you going to visit your friend who's just had a kid. You haven't met their child yet, right? Their child yet. So that's exciting. That runs, by the way, until May the 24th.
Yes.
Next up, Canadian Tulip Festival. I am so excited about this. We talked to Joe Riding last week, but remind everybody why this is so special.
Well, it's so special because the Canadian Tulip Festival is more. It's a festival that is, the tulips are beautiful. We get about 300,000 tulips every year being delivered to Canada. But it's also a symbol of friendship between two nations, Canada and the Netherlands, right? And a continuous friendship. And there's so much more to the story. I'm sure Joe Riding gave you the entire details and whatnot. But there's so much more to the festival. And again, happening along the Rideau area and the Conventional Park as well. Yeah. So that's where you're going to be able to see all these different colors, and also take the time to get to know the significance behind the story. It's worth it. It's definitely worth it.
And Dow's Lake, there's going to be a ton of activities. I'm going to be there on Saturday morning for the big opening ceremonies that are going to be happening. It's going to be incredibly exciting. Capital Music Awards coming up May 16th. This is something I have been dying for Ottawa to do for many years. So nice to see that they've stepped up to do this.
Absolutely, at the Bronson Center. So Mike, it's organized by Mike, and this is going to be huge because we have an amazing community of local artists here in the city, whether they're musicians, rappers, singers, R&B, jazz, independent, name it, we have it. Yeah. And it's really, I find it so amazing that we're at a point where we're celebrating that here. You know what I mean? And it's again a great opportunity for people to get to know who these artists are, but also to celebrate them. And that's pure Ottawa. That's a pure Ottawa energy. It's a pure Ottawa moment. So you don't want to miss that.
We have such history of so many incredible artists and musicians, that have gone on to huge fame, right?
Absolutely.
And we continue to see that, right? The next generation after next generation, the type of talent that we have in the city, I think is
absolutely the Cedar Fidelias, the Knight Lavells, the Babe Ruths, all of them. I could name so many. You know what I mean? There's a lot, and you'll get to meet them. You'll get to know them. You get to discover them, and most importantly, you'll get to celebrate them.
Absolutely, always a pleasure, pal. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
We'll see you again in about a month's time.
Absolutely.
OttawaTourism.ca to get all the information. The full schedule will be back right after this.
Summer days, summer nights, lots of things to do, places to go, and people to see. If you're having a few drinks, be sure to plan ahead and get home safely. We don't want to pick you up. Drinking drivers risk injuries to themselves and others and take chances with their license, their jobs, and their future. Remember what's at stake and choose your ride, whether you're the driver, the passenger, or the party host. Thanks for supporting sober driving. I hope we never meet.
Visit arrivealive.org to find out more.
Learn all about the creation of the National Capital Region on The History of Ottawa, according to Phil Jenkins, on Rogers TV.
You're watching an interesting local show on Rogers TV and you want to know more. That's when you head to rogerstv.com. Our website provides more information about our programs, our hosts, our schedule, and about how you too can get involved with Rogers TV. Visit us online at rogerstv.com.
Where's you?
I'm Sam LaPrade. I hope you join us for an hour to learn about the Distress Center of Ottawa and region. They take over 55,000 calls a year, and they're waiting to hear from you.
Welcome back to the show. I was just saying to my next guest that I took 5 years of French immersion. One of my greatest regrets was when I started to struggle, my parents pulled me out because they didn't speak French at home, and I just wish I could have continued with that. And maybe I'll start reading her book. Amy Ward joins me. She's author and founder of Un, Deux, Trois, Petit Pas. Welcome. Great to have you here.
Thank you so much. It's so great to be here.
Amy, tell me the inspiration behind this initiative.
So prior to me becoming a mother, I was a French teacher. Okay. And then when I became pregnant, I knew I wanted to raise my son to be bilingual. So I had done a bunch of research knowing how difficult it can be to learn a second language. I wanted to introduce it as his first language. Okay. And then I approached the Ottawa parenting community with a Facebook group, mentioned that I was going to be putting a bunch of this research together if anybody wanted to join a bilingual babies workshop. And that post, I had over 90 comments saying, here's my email, would you rather, like, can you do, and it turned into Un, Deux, Trois, Petit Pas. So for me, it was amazing because I got to combine motherhood with French teaching.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind
of... So, okay, it begins that way. So then did you start doing, was it virtual at that time?
No, so it was in person.
Okay.
And then with COVID, it turned virtual, and I saw the many benefits to that.
Right.
Because children were in their homes, so they were super comfortable. If they were sick, they didn't have to miss class. We could record them, so if they missed it, they could catch up. It really ended up being quite beneficial.
So this is for children, what ages?
From 0 up to age 9.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
And do you work with just the children or the parents and children walk me through the process how it works.
It's a parent and child class, so I'm not only teaching the children, I'm teaching the parents the techniques and the tricks and the vocabulary if they want to learn French alongside their child at the same time.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, so they come, they log in with me, and I'm more of their leader through activities, providing them with the words they need to complete them in French. And the goal is to make French as fun as possible and really allow them the opportunity to play a role, the parents, even if they don't speak French themselves.
And I guess, is there any truth to, the younger you can get to a child to teach them a second language, the easier it's going to be for them?
Yes, because prior to age 3, studies show that your brain is never going to be as easily able to pick up a language as it is during that time. And so if you have parents who want to send their child off to French school, they're actually missing that time period, which was why I wanted to introduce French as soon as possible to my children, but then also why the parents were so intrigued by the idea, I think, to begin.
You brought this great little book along with you here that you authored. It's How to Make an Ami. Tell me about this book.
Yeah, so I wrote this book with my mom.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's a mom and daughter book, but it's How to Make an Ami. It's a bilingual story.
Okay.
And it helps the reader introduce some basic French, but really it's not just about the French learning opportunity within the book, it's about the message. And the message is that language difference shouldn't be a barrier. It should be a way for us to connect through being able to teach one another something about our differences. And so it's based on a true story, actually.
Is it?
Yeah, I was at a cafe. I was at Mamie Clafoutis. Just over there.
Yeah.
And I was with my son. At the time, he was 3 years old. Now he's 7. But I was at Mamie Clafoutis with him, and he's so used to here, because he's bilingual, English and French, he's used to understanding most people. But next to us, there was a family who spoke a different language, and he said, like, Mama, what language are they speaking? And so rather than say I didn't know, I asked the family, what language are you speaking? And they were so happy to see that he was curious.
Yeah.
They started to teach him a few basic words, and it was a connection. And I was telling that to my mom because I was like, it was the most beautiful moment.
Yeah.
And she was like, that's a great start to a children's book.
That is a great start. Your mom she's a smart lady. Your mom was right. You also have been doing, giving scholarship opportunities? Tell me about that.
Yes. So I have partnered with Canadian Parents for French.
Okay.
And they're an amazing organization that help parents with children in French immersion schooling. And so they had approached me and said, we would really like to fund some families so that they can get some French learning with you. And so what we thought was going to be just 40 scholarships, the interest was so great. We had over 500, I believe, applications that I was like, how can I pick? I can't choose. So far we've funded 150 families in their French learning through the Canadian Parents for French Scholarship.
That's amazing. From a parent's perspective, because I told you, one of the great regrets was my parents pulled me out of French immersion because I was struggling, because they didn't know French, and perhaps they were intimidated, trying to learn even in themselves. What advice would you give to parents that are listening? Go, well, I don't know any French, so how is this going to work for me?
So the thing that I do is I show parents how one of the things they can do, honestly, is show their curiosity for the language, even if they themselves had a little bit of fear and like, oh, how am I supposed to help them? Let your child teach you. And so that's one of the things I do with the parent and child classes is I provide the children the opportunity to teach their parents something that gives them confidence, and then that creates a bonding moment for the parent and the child as well.
Absolutely. Where were you when I was going to school?
Exactly.
You're much too young for that. I know. People that are watching and they want to get in touch with you, I guess the website's the best place to go.
Yes.
Amy?
So it's the numbers 123. So undetroitpetitspas.com. You can find all of the different programming options there. There's special summer ones, prep for school. We've got a really great community. I'm very excited.
Well, thank you and congratulations. This is just a wonderful opportunity for parents and their children. Don't go away. Coming up after the break, I'll wrap things up and tell you about our Mother's Day makeover contest. The deadline has ended, but I'll tell you what you can expect coming up.
Every year, dozens of Canadians are killed or seriously injured because they take risks around railway tracks. Talk to your loved ones about rail safety. Visit stoptracktragedies.ca.
Join us for the new season of Ottawa Storytellers, right here on Rogers TV.
Watch Podium exclusively on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to the show. As I said, our Mother's Day makeover contest, the deadline passed. That was yesterday at midnight. Want to thank all of you for all of your entries. We got so many entries. Can't tell you enough how much we appreciate them. We're going to be choosing a winner this week, and then what's going to happen next Monday on May the 13th, that winner will be going to see Bruno Racine and L.A. Barrett at Bruno Racine's salon just here in Westboro the morning of Monday, May 13th. They're going to get their full makeover, and then we're going to bring Bruno and Leslie Ann on the show with the winner to do the big reveal. So we'll talk about, just this contest and what it means to the winner. And of course, Bruno and LA will walk us through and let us know what they did for the makeover and why they did it. So really excited about that. Again, thanks to everybody who entered. Want to remind you, Ottawa Little Theatre's Stag and Doe by Mark Crawford production. That is kicking off May the 8th. It runs all the way to the 25th. So a nice 3-week run. Make sure you get your tickets because those shows always sell out. I believe they have a couple of matinees as well. If you go to ottawalittletheatre.com, you can get your tickets for that. Another great lineup for you tomorrow. David Kern is back. He's going to be talking a little watercolor. All that more. We'll see you then. Thanks for watching.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
Some of Canada's most interesting and accomplished people share their lives, careers, insights, and stories each week on Canada Files. I'm Valerie Pringle, and I'll be speaking with economist Mark Carney, actor Eugene Levy, author Louise Penny, and architect Moshe Safdie, among others. I hope you can join us.
This is a brain in urgent need of mental health care.